I'm struggling to find my niche. My niche feels a little bit vague. I don't have anything unique to offer. There are so many people out there doing the same thing. How can it be different? Does any of this sound familiar to you? If you've been nervous or frustrated about finding your niche, you will absolutely love today's video. By the end of this video, you will be able to find your unique niche. Not niche. Maybe niche? I don't know. Niche. And to make it a little bit more interactive, I got a free niche worksheet that will help you really gain more clarity, and I think this is going to be super helpful for you, so download it. I put a link in the description down below. Okay, let's get started. Finding a niche can be so daunting, and as a side hustle coach, I really help a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs, and trying to find a niche really holds them back the most. Because the problem is they have so many ideas, they're super multi-passionate, but they feel really kind of locked into trying to find just like one thing. So let's get you unstuck and feeling less restricted, especially if you're a multi-passionate entrepreneur like I am. It's completely normal. Because here's the thing, when no one tells you, you don't really find your niche. You create your own niche. Yes. See how I'm putting you into an active seat right here? So before we get started, I want you to know a few things. One, you don't have to be an industry leader in your niche to make good money. Quite the opposite is true. You just need to be a couple of steps ahead. That's really what it comes down to. Second, you don't really need a large social media following, although I have to say it does help. And the third thing I want you to know is you don't need to have all the answers figured out right now. Seriously, I really want you to relieve that pressure. Don't worry about that. Okay, so today we talk about why you need a niche. Then we'll also talk about some great examples of niches, then 5 steps to find your niche, and then most importantly, how do you monetize your niche the easy way? So let's get started by telling you a very embarrassing story about me. When I started out right before the pandemic, one of my first business ideas was a company called Your Success Daily. And the idea was to send a daily email newsletter with just really great personal development tips. And so when I started, I reached out to a Stanford professor and CEO of an 8-figure consulting business to pick his brain a little bit on monetization because I was struggling. So, and I will never forget this moment. While we were on the phone, he asked me this like one question that's been burned in my memory forever, and especially my answer to it. He asked me, who is your target customer? And back then I was like, oh, easy. Anyone who's interested in personal development, which is the worst answer ever. I'm like, oh gosh, I still can't believe I told him that. I'm just still so embarrassed about this. Oh gosh. But here's one of the biggest lessons I learned in business the really hard way. If you try to be all things to all people, you won't be anything to anybody. Here's the thing. If you're a people pleaser like I am, you want to make everyone around you happy, right? But you're not in business to be liked by everyone. Really, really make this clear. You're in business to make a difference in some people's lives, not in everyone's lives, right? I was always afraid to pick a really small niche, but then I went to Russell Brunson's Mastermind in Paradise in Mexico because I'm part of the 2 Comma Club coaching program, and my limiting beliefs around niches got completely shattered. This is why I love masterminds so much. While we're sitting there in the audience on stage, I witnessed a mom with like I think 4 kids who built an 8-figure business around freaking air fryers. I mean, get this. One YouTube video made her $63,000. So if you think there's no reason to really go deep in one area, I really want to challenge you, because you grow your business the fastest way when you niche down. And you can always niche back up later on, but in the beginning, you need to niche down. So now the question maybe be, what even is a niche? So according to Google, a niche is a specialized segment of the market for a particular kind of product or service. As I learned from the coaching communities I'm in, such as Lewis Howes or Russell Brunson, a niche usually falls into one of these 3 buckets: health, relationships, and money. Let's give you an example of how to transform it into a niche, right? So health, not really a niche. Weight loss, a lot better, but still kind of broad. Weight loss for new moms, that is a niche. But what's even better is weight loss for new moms working as a nurse full time. I mean, that is super specific and super niche. Also, because I love giving so many examples of my community, let's give you a few more examples. Lydia Reese, she specialized on weight loss after giving birth. So how to get like a flat tummy again. When you look at her Instagram profile, it's like super crystal clear what she does. She helps new moms. Now, let's check out Claudia's Instagram. Claudia is also in the health/weight loss niche. But as you can see here, she coaches stage managers with a super busy schedule and helps them with weight loss. You see, it's like kind of the same result, right? Weight loss, but it's a totally different customer. That is a niche. So travel is not a niche. Okay, another one that I love is check out the Doggist. I don't know if you know him, but he randomly just approaches people on the street that have a dog, and then he takes a picture of them. He's technically a photographer, but he niched down on dogs that he literally meets on the street. Crazy. Super successful. Oh, look who's here. I got a little guest for us. This is Rue. Hey Rue, say hi. She's our newest family addition, and she's so sweet. Have you found your niche? Here's the ugly truth, and it took me a while to figure out my niche. Like for me, it's building a business. But because I'm working in tech and I have a really busy schedule, there was no one really in the market to show you how to build a business while working in a tech job. So that's why I became a side hustle coach. That's when I really found my niche. And you know what's great about a niche? You can choose who you want to work with. Yes, because it really reduces your entire decision-making progress. Okay, so let's start with the 5 guiding questions. Number 1, what is the problem you want to solve? The key to success lies in solving a problem, always. And it's not just a problem, it's a problem someone's actually willing to put some dollars down for. So it's really key that you identify a specific problem and aim to provide a desired outcome. So for example, right, helping individuals lose weight to fit into their wedding dresses, right? Or enabling financial freedom before the age of 40. Or another one could be assisting people in completing their first marathon injury-free. These are all great niches. So it's always a problem and a desire. Okay, let's give you a few more examples. One of my clients, Tanya, she was really frustrated on how to get an Hermes bag. So now she helps others get an Hermes Kelly bag in Paris the easy way. What I learned, it's not that easy. Or my former running coach, Mark, who helped me prepare for my marathon. He's really focused on helping you hit your marathon PRs. So if you don't really know what the problem is that you solve, really make sure to check out this video right here. It's kind of the first part of a 3-part series on how to create and sell an ebook online. And in this video, I dive really deep into solving a problem. Okay, question number 2. Have you gotten results in solving those problems? This is really key. So I really want you to reflect on how you have personally overcome the problem that you're trying to sell now. So, and don't overcomplicate it. Focus on the solutions that have worked for you, nothing else, right? So let's say, for instance, during the pandemic, you got really into gardening, right? Like DIY gardening, and you did it all yourself. You gained all of that knowledge by watching YouTube videos and everything, and you have kind of a before and after of your garden. And now what you can do is you can help busy professionals working remotely create stunning DIY gardens for less than $5,000. That is a niche, and it's a very profitable one. Okay, another example. Tanya. So if you look at Tanya's profile, you will actually see a lot of Hermes bags in the background. And that is just proof that she got results. Mark, my running coach, he constantly posts PR records. Or when you look at Claudia's profile, you see the before and after weight loss. This is where the before and after comes in. It's so key. I even have it on my website because it's so powerful. Okay, question number 3, who do you really want to serve? And yes, you could choose that. So don't make the same mistake I did and say, anyone interested in personal development? Oh gosh, I still can't believe I said that. Wild. I hope he doesn't watch it right now. First of all, you can choose who you want to work with. Yes, It is your business. And as I mentioned, when I started out, I was offered a lot of consulting for B2B, offering me even like up to $5,000 an hour. And I just declined because that's not who my niche is. I'm my ideal customer, right? I want to help the aspiring entrepreneurs who are stuck in the tech world right now. Maybe stuck in a 9-to-5 at some point, broadening my niche. But first, I'm gonna focus on the tech world. Fun fact, when I published YouTube Shorts, I grew my audience. But then I attracted an audience of 16 to 24 female. That is not my customer. So my content wasn't attracting the right customer. Again, you choose who you want to attract in your business. Now, insight number 2, and this is the most powerful quote I've ever heard. Get ready to screenshot this because it's going to blow you away. You're most powerfully positioned to serve the person you once were. Oh my goodness. I love Rory Vaden so much. Oh my goodness. He has some great books. I will make sure to put a link in the description below. He's like the best when it comes to personal branding. So definitely check his work out. Here's the thing. It took me so long to figure this one out. And it's so simple. This is the most important lesson. Seriously. If you take one thing away from this video, then let this be it. Because if you think about Claudia, right? Claudia used to work in the theater industry before she started getting into weight training and helping others losing weight. Now she loves it. And the same thing applies to Lydia. Lydia is still a mom, has 2 kids, and had to go through the process of losing weight twice. So she got the results. And now she's in the best shape of her life. So they both serve the audience that's a previous version of themselves. I mean, let's pause here for a second. Do you see the beauty in niches? And also, more importantly, do you see how much room there's for you? I mean, with some people you click, with others you don't. And that's why it's so key to find your niche and really hone in on that. Okay, now guiding question number 4. Is the problem you have in mind a real problem? AKA, is someone actually willing to pay for it? And I kid you not, this is so key because most of the entrepreneurs I coach have a really big problem that I used to face as well. They fall in love with the solution, AKA their product. And they spend so much time on developing their product. For instance, I created a leadership course for millennials because I thought that was cool. I literally did this before I even asked my ideal customer what the real problem was, which is so counterintuitive because I work in product and tech and I don't do it there, but you know, sometimes it's not logical. Sometimes the side hustle is a very emotional journey. I just didn't apply that same thinking that made me really good at my job actually in my business. So definitely a lesson learned. So don't develop a product until you talk to at least 20 different potential customers and figure out what their problem is and what their desired outcome is. And when I finally did my interviews, guess what happened? My ideal customer couldn't care less about climbing up the corporate ladder. Yes, they wanted personal and financial freedom instead. They wanted to travel the world. They wanted to create social impact. They wanted to spend more time with family and friends. They no longer wanted to trade their time for money. They really cared about building a business as a creative outlet to have more impact, but most importantly, really as a vehicle to personal and financial freedom without really losing their 6-figure salary. And that's when I realized, wow, I'm onto something here. And that's how I became a side hustle coach. So that's how I found my niche, right? One of the most important lessons is do not fall in love with the product, fall in love with your customer, and even better, with their problems. And the other thing I realized is when I started coaching a lot more one-on-one is sometimes the product that you had in mind doesn't actually solve a real problem. And the only way to find out is to A, talk to customers and get to know them inside out, and B, to launch a minimum viable product called MVP, and C, if someone even buys it. I think an ebook is a great way to do that. I have tons of tutorials on that, so definitely check them out. Another thing too that you can do is send out a survey, right? Or talk to them one-on-one. Get to know your customers' problems inside out. Seriously. Okay, and then question number 5, this is really key. What's your uniqueness? Here's what I hear all the time. Fabi, there's so many doing what I want to do. How can I be different? I hear this all the time. And my answer is, you're already different by just being your true, authentic self. Listen, the other day I got a message from someone on Instagram, and what it said, it was, I just came across this book that I think you absolutely love. I always think about you whenever I come across a good self-help book. So when I realized this is one aspect of my uniqueness, because I do read a ton. So whenever people see a book, they think of me, which is pretty cool. Here's the thing, I actually used my uniqueness and put it on my about page. So I put in like, I love reading, I love dogs, I love collecting motivational mugs, I'm a health enthusiast, and I love sustainable clothes. This is what is your uniqueness that should be on your about page. And here's what it really does. It creates connection, especially if you share the same values or even the same hobbies. You know, like you do that in interviews too, where you're trying to find like hobbies or similarities with someone who's going to interview you. Same thing. So that's really the power of a personal brand, because you're always on top of mind in the offline world. For instance, Jesse Itzler, who's Sarah Blakely's husband, every time I see a sauna or a cold plunge, I have to think about him. So if you don't know what your uniqueness is, don't panic. Here are some really great questions to ask your friends to uncover your uniqueness. So one of the things you can ask is, what do you think are my 3 best qualities? That's a great one. Another one that you can ask is, what are 3 things that are really unique about me? And when you do this, just ask 10 friends and you'll be surprised to hear what they say about you. I was super surprised. I just recently read it and it's just wild. There are things that you take for granted that people really appreciate about you. So your uniqueness is really the foundation for your audience to relate with you. It's your marketing tool. It attracts the right people and it repels the wrong people. I mean, that's what marketing is about. Okay, if you're still a little bit like, I don't know what my niche is, I have a free worksheet that you can download below to find your niche. Now, the question is, how do you monetize your niche, right? Start with something that's super easy to gain momentum. That's what I always recommend to all of my entrepreneurs in my community. And what I love is a low-cost ebook. I really tried out a lot of things, but an ebook works out the best. And you can make some really good money selling an ebook, seriously. And I've helped a lot of different entrepreneurs in my community to get to 5 figures within 1 week. Yes, wild. So I will link some ebook tutorials in the description down below as well. I have an entire roadmap for you on how to go from idea to 5 figures. There's like an entire video on this, so make sure to check it out. I will also put a link in the description below. The short answer is, grow an audience of your best customers by providing tremendous value for free every single day and get them results, and then sell an ebook that helps them get results. That's the easiest way. And lastly, I want to make this very clear, you don't need thousands of followers to get started. You can make an impact with just 1 video. I know that right now it might feel a little bit restrictive to have a niche, but I want you to know that as you evolve, your niche will also evolve, and that's completely normal. So you don't need to feel like you have to do this niche like forever and be stuck in this, because you don't have to at all. Also, I have a 3-part series that will walk you through how to create an ebook step by step, and make sure to check this out because this is the easiest way to earn money online. Another thing you can do, but it takes a little bit more time, is to start a YouTube channel. And the question that I get a lot is like, but Fabi, how do I add value? Like, I'm not an expert. You don't have to be an expert at all. Please, 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 please. Fun fact, it helps if you're just a few steps ahead of your biggest fans. Because here's why. They can relate more to you. I'm speaking from my own experience. I've invested like so much money, like 5 digits in the past couple of years in business coaching. And the ones that really helped me a lot grow my business are the ones actually that were just a few steps ahead. Because usually what you do is you hire someone for connection, but also for accountability and for having everything in one place. And you know, I still haven't really found that community yet where you have everything around handling your 9 to 5 and a side hustle and a social life. So maybe I create one day. I don't know. Maybe. But anyhow, if you're struggling with that, I also have a great video on how to manage you know, your full-time job, your side hustle, and your social life. I will make sure to link it right here. All the things that waste your time and how you can actually multiply your time. Really cool video. Okay, now the question I get is, how do you know you really found your niche? When your ideal customer starts paying you. It's that simple. But here's the most important thing that sometimes I feel like my community gets wrong. Your ideal customer also needs to be able to pay for this. So my sister-in-law will launch a gratitude journal for kids soon, which is super exciting. But guess what? The kids are not going to pay because they don't have money, right? So even though her audience or her ideal customer are like the children, but technically her ideal customer are the parents who can afford to buy the gratitude journal. And what I learned from Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi's course is that every day you're not selling your products or creating content, you do a disservice to the people who need you the most. Screenshot that because it's so good. Hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any other questions, and don't forget to download the niche worksheet. Say bye. Isn't she lovely? Dogs are just the best.